But this clearing process this is the third stage. It's the stage that everybody misses or almost everybody misses, but I do have. So the clearing is not clearing Fred up, and that's the way it's always read, is I need to clear Fred up, right? There is no Fred. That's what's seen in the recognition. That's what's accepted if it's accepted. I can tell you the overwhelming amount of time, so to speak, there's no time, but we're just using language here, folks. So the overwhelmingly common experience here is abidance. And abidance, and when I say it's abidance, it's not Fred abiding with awakeness. There's no Fred. And there's no you either, Bob or Carol, or whoever you are, whoever you think you are. That one is not going to wake up. So what happens is that when that becomes your experience most of the time, we call that abidance. It's where for me at least, it is where your overall experience is that of awakeness. It's all skillful, it's all within, and it's all acceptable within duality. Duality itself is perfectly acceptable as long as you don't believe it. And that's the problem, is that we believe that we need to achieve, and let's go back to that word, we need to break through to the non-dual view. That's what we've always told ourselves. That's what we've probably been taught. And we would have been taught that, again, it can be skillful, but it just wouldn't be true. Oscillation. And we call it oscillation, but there's no real oscillation. There can't be, there's only oneness. But it'll feel like oscillation. It'll be reported as oscillation. We can discuss it as oscillation, but it's just not true. Because where would oneness go when it oscillated, right? There's no, oneness does not move. It does not need to move. It cannot move because it's nowhere to move to. It's oneness. Oneness means one. So we can notice right away that this is oneness. And what is this talking to? Let's see, there's oneness. What does that give away? I mean, the last time I looked it up, oneness means one. Just means one. So since there's just one, then this has to be oneness. But it's talking, and it would be declared that it was talking to another human being, and within relativity, that's absolutely the truth. But that is what's really happening here is that you don't want to achieve the non-dual state because you're already in it. This is the non-dual state, your ordinary life. But you can't believe it, and until you can, you won't experience it. But it doesn't mean that you just put everything down and say, okay, I'm going to experience awakeness from here on out. Good luck. It just doesn't happen like that. I do know, I mean, I don't know anything, but I have experienced multiple people going through what appears to be a certain track. And the track is recognition, acceptance, clearing, and abidance. I have not seen many people get to abidance, but I have seen people that did. I've seen, actually, I mean, it's a good number. I don't know what it is. It would be measured in dozens, but it would not be measured in scores. And it certainly wouldn't be measured in hundreds or anything like that. Not many people get to abidance because you give up first. Not many people get through clearing. Oscillation is the greatest problem on the planet. It's the best problem anybody could ever have. Because what you're describing with that is you're saying there is an experience here of awakeness, of a conscious awakeness, sometimes. How many people have not had a glimpse what would you trade to just have oscillation? It won't do what you think it'll do, but it's still grand. And what you think it will do is you think it will take you with that oscillation will quit and you will automatically move into abidance. And that is not true. That can happen, but it does not happen really very often. It just doesn't. Working with a teacher can move you into abidance and can move you into abidance that appears to last forever, but of course it doesn't, because there's no time and there's no one to actually get enlightened and experience permanent awakening. Awakeness is what wakes up, but it can be through this body. It's not permanent here. And what I mean by that, I don't go through, I got it, I lost it. It's just that there's no one here to have a permanent awakening. So what it amounts to is that awakening is conscious. Awakeness is conscious of itself amid the dualistic world. Awakeness is conscious of itself, even though awakeness is living in a dualistic world. But it won't be dualistic for awakeness. It'll just be dualism for you and your neighbor and your neighbor's neighbor and on and on and on.